Yo, and I am live. And in today's stream, the goal is going to be to set up my setup, which will allow me to write code, right? And that is cool. I have to write code for my thing. Now, if yesterday we were facing some problems, my LSP was not working. Right now, it doesn't has to work because I'm not in a file. But if I go in a TypeScript file, does my LSP work? Yep, I have LSP info CSS module tailwind. That is amazing. That is what I wanted. And in source, if I go to .tsx LSP, I think okay, TSLS is working. All of them are working now. That is cool. Let me do something like class name h10 shit. How do I give in some tailwind values? Index plus CSS. Inside components UI button.tsx. CA what the heck is CVA? Default. Because CVA is another thing for complex UI, right? CVA class value something. Okay. Okay, I'm not recording anything. CN for shared CN. Import shared CN. Okay, quite a few things here. Card. This also has the same thing. Yep, CN. Okay, this is the first time that I'm seeing this thing. CN. Do I get? Nope, I'm not getting any auto suggestions. But that is fine. At least it should be running, right? Localhost colon 3000. Okay, there is that somewhere. Your connection to this side is not secure. Oh, that does not matter. That is totally fine. Harpoon. Oh, these two are cool. And this in Harpoon. How can I remove that SVG viewport? This even this. I would like to add my own thing there. Image logo.svg, which is right here, logo.svg. And I would like to remove that. Let me create a new window for that. And I have my own, not logo, but yeah, my own logo that impossible square made by Ashwat, which is in slash, which is in documents, and it is in you shit, YouTube thumbnails whole mc png. Copy this to programming projects whole source. Yeah, and I can delete this now. How do I delete a window? Shit. Yeah, using and kill window. Yep. I'm in whole. Go to source ls components live mcsr. Yes. Rm logo.svg move mcsr to logo.png and Go to index.html, logo.svg to png, and this thing is being package, and this refresh. Fucking hell, I have the logo now. That is cool. And no one is watching, which is also pretty cool. Excellent connection. Oh shit, I thought it said no data. That would have been joining contest. Yes, I will be joining contest today. That is why I'm streaming React instead of this. Water. Hello. I am here when yes, I am watching you. And in this right now, I am setting up my environment so that I can write code in I can write React code, and yeah, I can write React code to make my own blog post site. Add this and index.tsx. No, here hello world. This thing should say hello world, but it is not saying hello world. At least it is giving error with a nice error message. Ah, black. Refresh. Return. Hello. Hello. Return a string. Hello. Div and hello world or whatever that is. No. Right now I am visiting. That is cool. Document object model. I'm also trying to do this thing, but I just cannot see it here. App logo index. Index.html is importing that file, so it should work. Dot frontend dot tsx is a thing that it is importing frontend dot tsx, and frontend dot tsx is selecting this. Select get element by id root, and it is also importing app. It is importing strict mode and create root, and it is rendering app, so it should work. Let's say hello world, and no, nothing, and not even here, I guess. Inside body I have id root, which is empty. Fuck. Id root is empty, and it should not be empty because I am rendering app. Anyway, const app because this element is this, so element dot render app. Yep. Okay. Import meta dot hot and constant const root equals import meta dot hot dot data dot root question mark equal to create a root element root dot render app, else with hot module reloading import data is persistent, and the hot module reloading API is not available in production. Okay, and I am currently in dev mode. See, one dev. 50 subs in 4 days. Yes. More than 50. When I started streaming last week, I was at 37, which is crazy. I will graduate in 2 years in 2027. I have 2 years left, or more like 1 year. So, yeah, I only have 1 year to do whatever I can. I want to do as much as I can. Bun hot this. Fucking hell, it is not working. I don't know why. Is it something has to do with bun or a hole? Uh, Make their hole, cd hole, bun in it, react with simple tailwind, right? Let's see, I can do bun dev, and I should see things here. I do see things here, but I do not see the main thing, the thing which is supposed to be inside. That is fine. That is fine. cd hole in source app.tsx. Okay, seems like the mistake is with bun. Same as me, I also graduated in 2027. That is cool. So, yeah, that is cool shit. Why am I clicking right click? Now it's fine. Shit. Control C, bun, start. That is, uh, if I refresh this, that is working now. Shit. Bun, start. Go there and here. Shit, I am getting now TypeScript thing. That is cool. Dev. Hello world. Hello world. Refresh. Hello world. Right. That is cool. This index.css CSS. That right. And what other CSS is there? Source. Okay, logo.svg. I can do react.svg index.css. I have removed it. I have made it empty. Index.html, that is still working. And where is any other CSS? If there is any other CSS, I shouldn't see this background that I see right now. Index.css HTML. Okay, refresh this. Okay, still there. So now this API tester. API tester, but I am not. I am exporting this, I guess. Export function default API tester, and I was, I guess, importing it here in app, but now I'm not. I simply have app which is being imported by frontend. And yes, frontend is just importing app and this, and then creative element and root dot render app. That is cool. If document ready equal ready state is if it is loading, then add event listener dom content loaded and start. Then start. Why do I see that fucking background? package dot share. I don't have a lot of things here. That is cool. Source app.tsx. So I can write my code, but this thing won't go away due to some reason. Brah. Code. That is the name of my website. And yep, let me go to documents and CP. Side YouTube, thumbnail, poll. I have something called MCSR and put it to programming project polls source, right? And programming. Yes, now I can remove this now, right? Go there, MCSR, and delete logo.svg, and this will be renamed to logo.png and index.html, png, and also here png. And I should see, I see nothing. That is fine. One start. Now it is working. Right. Hello world. Now the thing comes, yes, and now I can write code, and let me try some tailwind. Class name with 100 uh, with full height, let's say 20 pixel, and border, I want border full, border all, border 1 2, right, 4. Okay, and I want border 4, border red. How do I give border color? Current color or VG, VG, VG. How do I give color to background? Top left green and repeat. Tailwind background color. H, right. VG inherent transparent. That is what I want. I'm testing right now. So BG black and text white, text color, yes, text color, decoration, text decoration, font, text, text color decoration. Why is there nothing like exact colors? Concepts. Okay, decoration white. Let's see. I do not have hot reloading, so one start. Refresh. Shit, I don't see anything. It should have been here. Last name this border blend color, fixed linear left. There is also gradient border, I guess. Rah. Exclusion, highlight hue, overlay, saturation, screen, I guess. Border is one thing. Black, BG, that was BG. Um, Decoration, double transparent one. What the heck is that? All of that. Thickness is 2, right? And border, solid. One start, refresh. I don't see anything. Hmm. Okay. I don't see anything. What the fuck is that? Font. Wait. Yes. Font black or extra dark or something like that. Font. Sure. Why do I only have these strange tailwind suggestions? They don't make sense. What is the tailwind LSP I'm using? CSS modules, tailwind, CSS module, tailwind. I have a linting thing, tailwind CSS class, HTML class list, ng class. Shit. TSLS is not working now due to some reason. But that is fine. That is okay. The command is this: TypeScript language server std cs module runs with that. Shit, wait, I'll have to stop the stream for a minute. Just wait a minute. Yep, I am back. Yes. Yeah, viewership dropped. That is fine. But shit, why is this not working? Tailwind CSS language server. That is cool. Bruh. bold is something, font extra bold is also something, even though I don't see it here. Extra bold with no spaces. Yep, no spaces. Font extra bold, no change there. This is how stop. Restart. Refresh. Nope, no change. Nope. Yep, some change. Yes. How do I kill this star? Uh, it percent. Shit. Come on. Hmm. Shit, I created a new. Shit, I went. Tmux detach. Tmux ls. Tmux kill session target extra. Tmux attach. Right. How to how to kill a plane. Plane. Tmux not a plane. We have seen planes dying recently. X X. Yep. Uh, extra bold, and I don't see anything extra bold. That is not very bold. Mm, shit. World. Uh, there's tailwind is not working. Yours alone was like this. It had class name and all those things. Right, and it was working. Restart. See, refresh. It is taking a bit of time. Okay, because these two things are not here. This is not there, and middle images, and also the API tester. Everything else should work. Build this and see one star refresh one plus react. No tailwind whatsoever. But there is some tailwind. What is button? This text size. Uh, text file. I'm not getting complete and vim tailwind lsp not working. Yes, tailwind lsp not working in your vim. It is likely due to configuration issues or a problem with the language server installation. Here is a breakdown. Check health lsp Pickles it. That is just LSP info. That to me seems, I guess, fine. I don't know. I can ask ChatGPT whether it is fine or not. Check health LSP config installed and configured for Tailwind. Okay, it might not be configured actually. It is called Tailwind LSP github.com/new LSP config. Okay, that is fuck. Uh, and go to search Tailwind, Tailwind CSS, Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. Yes, Tailwind CSS. Enable Tailwind CSS. That is the LSP I am using. Tailwind CSS. Uh, okay, file types. All of these files. That is quite a bit of files. Command is this Tailwind LSP server studios file types. Default configuration. Okay, this is the default configuration, so I do not have to change anything. This is already there. Before init, this is the default configuration. Okay, Tailwind can be installed via npm. I have installed it at tailwind/language server. One install globally at tailwind/language server. 404 at tailwind/language server at tailwind css/language server. One install globally at tailwind css language server. Downloading something. Okay, it has installed one binary, and in my plugins LSP, add this to harpoon, and in CSS modules and tailwind CSS. Right, tailwind CSS, this is the command tailwind server, right, and CSS module. This is the command for CSS modules. TypeScript language server, TypeScript language server, CSS modules. This module, not node modules, but CSS module. Where is CSS module? Shit. CSS modules ls. Yes, this is the one CSS module ls, and the command is this. Okay. CSS modules language server. This is for Tailwind CSS. CSS is not this. It is CSS modules language server. Right. This might work now. I'm getting this thing. So I've got tsx. Bruh. Do I have an LSP? LSP this. Okay, only two LSPs are working. But I want more to be working. Tailwind, not tailwind. Um, TypeScript language server. Yes, this is the one. What is the command for this thing? Default settings, file types. These are the file types. Command is this. I'm using one to run this thing. One TypeScript language server. JavaScript, React, JavaScript, .jsx, TypeScript, React, TypeScript, .tsx, function, neoweb, tsc config, okay, root maker is also fine. LSP is tailwind.css. Yes, CSS module is tailwind. Wait, I have CSS ls also here. CSS ls, and this is it. CSS ls and CSS language server, CSS ls, and VS Code CS language server. So that is the command for this thing. And let's see. CSS ls require lsps dot CSS ls, which I'm going to make here. CSS ls dot lua return cmd is this thing. Oh shit, yes, command is this, not this exactly, but 1x and 1 2 dash, and yes, I think that should work. Oh there, right, hello world, and there's been 4 CSS modules and Tailwind are the only LSPs running right now. That is not too good. CSS modules language server, maybe it will work better this time, but it is not working at all. No, it is not working at all. Shit. So, brought nope. CSS modules and Tailwind are two things. Tailwind CSS language server studio. Let me ask ChatGPT what the thing could be. Any this? Nope. That's cool. This is my LSP info and new, and I am editing a tsx file, but I am not getting any auto suggestions for anything, not for Tailwind or TypeScript. one of the things is broken. TypeScript language server not attached from your LSP info. The TypeScript TSS was not listed. Yes, only CSS modules and Tailwind CSS are running. Fix require TSS server dot setup. Not that. TypeScript language server. This is the one. Uh, Here I have to ts underscore ls. Here, mm, ts ls. Add this 1x TypeScript language server studio in it. Languages TypeScript, JavaScript, Vue, and React, and file types React, and okay. Plugins name at Vue TypeScript plugin. Let's see if that has made a change. Go to source have dot info. Nope, still not running. Fuck. File types are the view support. I don't want view support. I want support for everything. Everything. File types. Yeah. Ah, fuck. Okay. Okay. I already have JavaScript React. Okay. 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 Copy this whole thing. This is one list. And line. It is I will make this a auto one. Q A recording A, and the thing we have to do is F this A, enter A, right, and now do this like 5 times A, 5 times percent A. Cool. Now I should see some change. I hope. 56. Fuck. Yes. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Hello world. And last name. Okay, I'm not getting any TypeScript things, but at least yes, TSLS is now working. That is fucking awesome. TSLS is working. TS TypeScript language server is now working. Yes, it happened because I changed the defaults, right? Yep. And view TypeScript plugins. Okay. TSLS on okay to configure TypeScript language server, add a tsconfig, gsconfig to okay, here is an example that it disables type checking in JavaScript files. Okay, use the LSP TypeScript source action command to see whole file source code actions such as view support. The Vue language server no longer supports TypeScript itself instead of plugin adds view support to this language server. It is crucial to ensure Vue TypeScript language server or Vue language server are of identical versions. I don't have a Vue server. I can just remove the Vue part from my code. Init options. Okay, file types was the thing that I had to change there. And CSS modules is CS. LS is not working there. I'm not even using CS. But let's see. File type is CSS LS. Here, file types CSS, SCSS, and less that is by default. VS Code, CSS language server, CSS, SCSS, and I don't know what SCSS is. Less. So then just I can see the defaults provided formatter to package.get. Right, right. And also these common here. Right. And that's cool. This should not work. See, this should also not work, but I want this one to work. Tailwind, tailwind CSS, file types by default. This is the file types. Tailwind CSS language server. std is it file types? Yes, file types. Root dir and settings. Settings is this. Right. Make them appear good. Class attributes, class name, class. Like the Ruby, HTML, Angular, HTML, include languages. Okay, these are the languages included. Okay, I also want to include React. Okay, uh, lsvtailwind.css glue align returns file types root files. That is fine. That don't have React included languages. Tailwind. I think Tailwind is the only thing that I need to set up now, and everything else seems already set up. Tailwind CSS language server. Just rapidly build modern websites. Install like this, run like this. Usage, use Studio, node options. Tailwind CSS language server std. Tailwind CSS language server std. I have no such file or directory. Okay, how to set up Tailwind CSS language server with bun. Right, bun x bun bun tail TypeScript language server stdio. STDIO. Ah, it is running. Okay, that is cool. TypeScript language server. So that is the way to run TypeScript language server. Button, tailwind, CSS, language server, STDIO. Okay, is that some error? Nope, that is not some error. The server is running. JSON to window method window log message params for okay, so it is also running. And Bunx, what is okay? Bunx is the same thing as npx. That is, it runs commands from the web online. Bun tailwind css language server not work. Yes. Okay. Bunx bun not tailwind css module language server. Is that a thing? Yes, that is a thing, and that thing is running. Plugin type script language server stdio. Right, that is the way to run it. Makes sense. Tailwind css language server, but it is not fucking running. Okay, tailwind intelligence, that is what I want. uh, Not for VS Code, but implementation for tailwind css and css intelligence new intelligence into new. Yes. Yep, that is what I want. And there is also linting, which means making our code look good. Thanks to Tailwind CSS team and their amazing VS Code extension, the internal LSP language server protocol can be leveraged inside NeoVim. Linting, I documented the steps took as well as the work Tailwind. Both these boys have put into tooling. Which this does this still work with Tailwind CSS version 3? I am back. That is pretty cool. Ah, the above screenshot shows this introduction installation. Okay, they are telling me to use something else completely. Okay, require LSP install. Okay, I will not be using any LSP installer. I do not use Mason, so I will not be using any LSP installer. Caboose ID. Okay, new LSP config and new LSP install. Like any other new plugin would. Okay, plug these two things, then add setup and Lua. Yes, I have done that much. LSP install tailwind CSS. Okay, that is to install LSPs. Okay, we'll not be doing that. TSS server, tailwind CSS, and EFM is also something that it is installing. Perfect. Okay, he is getting intelligence just here. Okay, this is something that I do not have. EFM. EFM seems to be another one of these things. SF, EC, go down. SK, uh, EFM. Okay, there is this thing EFM, which I can install. Like, how do I install this thing? EFM, general purpose language server. It can use specific error messages format generated from specific commands. Requires at minimum EFM version this to support note in order to for other nuance built-in language server. clients to send the appropriate language ID to you must specify file types. Okay. TypeScript language server and TypeScript are installed. And okay, now my TSLS is working fine, but my Tailwind CSS language server is not working. Alright, since your TSS server working now, but this isn't, let's troubleshoot why the Tailwind isn't kicking in or giving some suggestions. Check if Tailwind LSP is actually attached. Yes, it is. Yes, it is attached. Include okay, this is not something that I have done. Wait, the thing that I have done is this. See, thanks, this is very cool, but not there is one critical issue. Your table config is in the wrong place in the LSP structure. Settings must be passed under a settings table. Right now you are passing tailwind CSS equal to at the top level. Okay, fucking hell. Okay, okay, shit. Settings equal to something, and that something is this thing. The that the thing. EV source app.lsx. Let's see. The server is running, but I'm not seeing any suggestions. MRC, there was a key map for that thing. For LSPs. Command. Okay. There's a command for inspect tree. Yep, tree inspect. This one. Okay. OPD for options. Vim dot here dot set in normal mode. Leader. LI for LSP info. Vim dot cmd dot LSP info. So li that does work. ULS and okay, that is one thing. Next steps after fixing, save and reload MM. Right, run LSP restart or just reopen. Okay, confirm LSP info tailwind. CS should be attached. Place your cursor inside class like this and see will do auto only. Or trigger manually with Control X, Control O. Or I can trigger it manually. Control X, Control O. I just went back due to some reason. Control X, Control X. Modifiable is off. control X, control O. Shit. Let's wait for even though I see tailwind CSS LS running in LSP info, it is not giving any suggestions. See, that was given, it was my LSP info, my TypeScript language server. It's been 1 hour and still I haven't set up my setup. That is embarrassing. I guess studio solution your setup properly in your dual LSP is TypeScript React equals HTML crucial for the fuck. What's this thing? Important fallback. TypeScript React. Okay. This is my the one where I go. I was actually hoping to see something here this time around. This is working. See the modules. I don't know why. This is the thing I see here. Stuff here. Yeah, shit. Solution structure your setup properly, which I have done. And then after updating, unless we restart, must have sanity checks. What I call sanity checks. Tailwind config.js in root contains a class name in .tsx file using class name.tsx. That is what I'm doing. Class name dot equals this something, and then tailwind class appears. There's completion. Control X and control small o. Let me check. Do I have tailwind? I do not have tailwind config here. Hmm. Okay, I used one minute to initialize my project and I selected tailwind uh, for the CSS, but in the root I don't see a tailwind.config.js. Bunex tailwind CSS init ts. Okay, and then this will create this. Okay, bunex tailwind CSS init ts. Bunex tailwind CSS init ts. Uh, couldn't determine executable to run for package tailwind CSS. Tailwind CSS. Bunex tailwind CSS could not determine executable to run for package. So tailwind CSS doesn't exist. What the fuck? One install tailwind CSS. One X tailwind CSS. Wait, do I have it now? Nope. One X tailwind CSS init ts. Bro. Okay, one X says tailwind CSS module couldn't be located. Perfect. Now we are at the room. So that you couldn't be located. You never installed tailwind CSS as dependency. Okay, one add d tailwind CSS. Okay, this will install tailwind as a dev dependency in your project, and then I can do that. One add d tailwind say tailwind. Okay, and d there means development. One add tailwind CSS. One x tailwind CSS init yes could not determine executable to run. Okay, I am still getting the same error that tailwind CSS couldn't be located. Thanks for sticking with this. So let's tear into it properly. Tailwind add the CSS dependency. Yes, I've done that. Step one, confirm in one lock d pack and package.json whether I have tailwind CSS or not. And then try running tailwind manually. Let's see, this is the package.json. Do I have tailwind? I do have tailwind, but I don't have tailwind CSS. I do have tailwind CSS. That is in dependencies, not dev dependencies. It is in production dependencies. Hmm. 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 One lock tailwind CSS. I do have it. Right, in dependencies. Right, I have it running. And then 1x tailwind CSS help. 1x tailwind CSS help. 1x tailwind CSS 1x ls node module. Fucking hell. Cookie signature fresh. What the fuck? Uh, tailwind CSS right there. Node module. Tailwind CSS. Inside I have tailwind CSS, and inside dist I have dix dot something. Readme.md. Powerful documentation go there. For help discussion about help practice, best practices, or any other conversation that would have been or chatting on other format framework. If you are interested in contribution statement, go there. Yeah. It is the same every time. It is not working. I guess I can end the stream now. I've been struggling for 1 hour. And yeah, I'll take a walk and then I will come back to this offline. That is, and I will not stream my second stream today because I will be taking part in Code Forces competition, my first competition. Let's see how that goes. Contest, not competition. Contest, it is in about 7 hours. It is going to be cool. Let's see what happens there, and